let's start with some easy questions. I got my pen pulled up. Alright. What's your OPGG?
It's my Discord name.
Alright. And I'm assuming that it's on North America.
Yeah.
Gold 5. Negative win rate. Hold on. What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on here?
What's up?
Do you see how many champions you play in ranked? No, don't get me wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. I do the same thing. But I want you to think about, like, here, let me just list all of these games on a champion that you played once and lost. Rek'Sai, Corki, Lulu, Vladimir, Fiora, Oriana, Karma, Rise, Annie, Nunu, Sona, Nasus, Sivir, Talia,
Wait, are you sure
or
those are ranked?
yeah, those are ranked. Those
Yeah,
are all ranked games. You've like and like oh my Sivir's 02, Kled's 03, Mastery's 04. What are you doing? Don't play these champions. Do you know how to go up in elo?
play champions you're comfortable with.
You pick
Play that
like
one.
oh Jesus, my fucking pen size is so small. You play like three fucking champions. Okay, you play like three. You have one for your main role, the one that you play like all the fucking time, because like you can grind elo really easily with one champion. Then you have a backup champion for that role in case it gets taken or banned, and then you have a champion that you can play in your off role. And the only time you should even be playing some random fucking champion is if for some odd reason both of those are banned, and you shouldn't be maining like contested picks. I see a lot of Riven games. Riven's kind of popular, so you kind of need you need another champion if you're gonna play a lot of Riven.
I used to play Aurelia for Urban Standard
Yeah, I
sometimes,
see. So,
but my win rate on her is like plummeted.
oh Jesus,
It
I
was like a
fucked up.
solid 80% for like the first 50 games.
So, no, like seriously, like I'm looking straight at your PGG, and I can tell you kind of know how to play Aurelia. There's obviously something going on there. You kind of know how to play Lee Sin, and you kind of know how to play Riven. And then there's this like weird Elise win rate down below. It's like 58%. It's not that many games. Like for me, I really want to tell you to play those champions, but I also think that those champions are too complicated for you to win the game because you're so low elo. And I don't mean that as like a bad insult. I mean that as if you play simpler champions, you can win the game a lot easily, more easily. Um, like what what is your style of gameplay that you like? Obviously, it has something to do with like bruisers.
Like aggressive and then shutting down the other enemy, laner or jungler.
Have you tried playing Darius? You're in
He's a
gold.
really he's a really slow paced person to me. I don't enjoy that.
Trinity's on this list. Who else have you played? Everybody you play. You have so many. Okay, like I'm just so tilted by the fact that you have so many games on so many different champions, and if none of these existed, your win rate would probably be like 55%. Like fuck, you have 21 games on Zaya and not even a 40% win rate.
To be honest,
It's
that reason is because
like imagine if every single Zaya game, including the wins, weren't there. How that would affect your current status. Do you see what I
when
mean?
when she first came out, I would just spam her top lane.
Yeah.
It's as bad as it sounds.
Okay, so we're gonna right now figure out what you're gonna do. I recommend simple champions. Pull up your collection, and let's run through. Um,
I'm in loading screen.
why? I told you to wait.
Oh, whoops.
I never told you to start a game. Holy shit.
Ah,
What the fuck are you playing?
Draven.
Why? Holy shit. Hold on. You have Draven. You have 4 wins and 5 losses on Draven. You're wasting your time. I doubt you're even mechanically close to being able to play that champion anywhere near the maximum efficiency. Cause I know I fucking can't. And like I'm sitting I'm sitting like high plat low diamond right now. Like I can't do that. I know you can't do that. Oh my god. Draven, why? You should never play Draven. So, while you play this game and you're gonna win or lose, heavily dependent on whether or not you're lucky, because you're not gonna be doing a lot this game, unless they're absolutely retarded. Let's talk about what champions you can play. Do you want a main top lane? I
mean,
personally don't think top lane is the easiest way to.
I think I'm feeling like hovering mid or carry, or probably jungle to be honest. So that's how I got platinum and flex.
Everyone that tells me they want to play AD carry, I just tell them that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you want to learn AD carry, it's going to be a long road. You have a lot to work on with that. It's mechanically really difficult. A lot of people recommend that you use attack move, and that's hard enough to get used to in the first place. Then you have to lane with another person against 2 people, and if you're not duo with your person and the other person's duo, you end up losing a lot more of the time because the support has a lot more control of the lane generally.
Overlane. Yeah.
So I really don't recommend playing EDC yet. Maybe
So
in a
mid or
higher
jungle.
elo. Mid or jungle. Okay. That's viable. Now in mid lane you have a lot of options. Annie is one. Why are these in mastery order? There we go. That's so much better. Alright. Annie, Anivia. Anivia's really strong.
I'm not feeling either right now. Maybe Annie, but
I'm telling you that you can win any game in 25 minutes with Annie.
I know.
No, like if you all you do is smash lane, like anywhere under plat 3. I mean, well, I'm not too familiar with North America right now, as I have not played in North America for a couple months, so I don't really know the elo too well. But probably anywhere under plat 3, you can squash in 25 minutes without having like major map awareness, without being a god. You don't need to
Okay.
be a god. You just need to use your brain. Because Annie is so simple that you can stop thinking about playing the champion and start thinking about playing League of Legends. Because those are 2 very different things, I hope you know.
Yep. Yep. Thanks.
Alright. So, and you said no to Anivia?
Yeah.
She's got like a 55% win rate. You're missing out. Anivia's broken in solo queue. She's not really broken anywhere else. At least not right now. With some item changes there that may come into place. So Annie, mid lane. You have to look for things that are gonna stomp. Not too shabby. Cassidon, Katarina.
I feel like I could play Captain, but I don't like whenever I play him. I feel like I can't carry on him.
Caston, you're not gonna do anything in the early game
Yeah, I just farm him.
unless you're against a melee matchup. You can win a lot of melee matchups. You can even win a lot of ranged matchups just due to the fact that they buffed him recently. He's really hardy. His base stats are really nice now. And once you get level 6, you can just start roaming and taking over the game. How do you have Kane?
I've tried him. I don't feel too well on him.
Okay.
When it comes to jungle, I feel like Elise and Lee Sin are much stronger suits.
I just feel like you should learn to play League of Legends before you learn to play a really complicated champion. I don't want to be rude. I just think that that is how you should learn.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not saying that you can't play Elise and Lee Sin later,
Hmm.
but right now you need to start learning about how you can be the most effective you can be. Like, I'm talking about like vision control, moving around the
Yeah.
map, how to abuse the lead that you get in lane, how to use, if you're going to be a jungler, how to use the lanes that you get leads for and abuse that, how to get objective control since you're going to be the main one causing that, how to how to force down turrets, how to provide real ganks, how to get past vision. Holy shit, this is such low elo. Like, Thresh missed a free hook. Sejuani didn't dive on you, so he'd hit the hook anyway. This is actually laughable.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. That's why I want to play AD carry.
Really interesting.
I'm also missing like so much CS.
You gotta fix that if you're gonna you gotta fix. Wait, you're not that behind.
What do you think about Fynati
1,
Draven
2,
compared to
6,
Crit Draven
7,
now
12. No, you're down like 18 minions. It's fine. Um, lethality Draven.
compared to Crit?
I mean, crit's more DPS. Lethality provides more burst. I
Which
believe
one do you
I
think is
believe that mathematically works out.
which one
Don't
should I go
quote
right
me
now?
right now. You need some fucking
Lethality or
boots. That's what you fucking need.
Why I haven't even back yet?
Buy fucking boots and buy a dagger.
Wait, I have 2,600 gold.
Yeah, yeah, but you had 600. You bought wards and a control. You bought a control ward and pots instead of a dagger. That's fine. That kind of prioritizing vision will help you a lot more once you get into higher elo. Your teammates won't be able to use that vision now, but they will be able to later. Where was I in the mid list? Fuck, you could play Syndra. Tally is fucking broken and brainless. Like,
yeah, I think she's strong, but I can't carry on her. Syndra, I feel like it's much easier.
you think carrying on Syndra is easier than Talia?
Yeah,
Maybe that's an elo thing. I don't know.
maybe.
Talon's broken right now. Talon's pretty broken.
Hmm.
So I've given you a lot of options. Are there any more for mid lane? I'd say play Veigar, but you'd have to fix your CS before you can do that, and you have to play really safe for the first 10 minutes
Mhm.
against like any matchup. Um, as for no, nothing else. Maybe Vladimir on a rare occasion as like as a side pick. You gotta. My point is, You gotta pick one or two, and you have to start practicing them. And why do you think practicing? Do you understand why practicing one champion is going to
Yeah, so
help?
you just like play their maximum skill cap.
Well, that's not just it. Okay, there are a couple things you're worrying about when you're thinking about it. You want to get to the maximum efficiency of that champion. That's the one. That's what you just said. But you're not just learning that. You want the champion to become second nature. If you can make the champion second nature, you can stop focusing on the champion. Once you're done focusing on the champion, you start focusing on League of Legends.
Yeah.
And as you're focusing on League of Legends, that's when you start getting better at the rotations. That's when you figure out how to start winning the game in more ways than just using your champion. You use yourself. You make the rotations, you make aggressive plays, you learn how much freedom your champion has, and learning to abuse that freedom as much as possible. Like right now you're 6-0 and your bot lane, there's no reason for you to be bot lane. Like you should just walk to another part of the map with your support and push that lane in and get the turret. And if they try to contest you, then you kill them because you are so far ahead right now. No one's gonna stop you. Is there press tab? Is there anyone else in the map that is even remotely fed?
Fizz. Very much fizz.
How fed is he?
6-1-2.
Oh, now you're 7. So that doesn't matter too much. Do you know how to play against Fizz with Draven? You know how to E his Q?
Yeah, it knocks out midair.
Yeah. Then you're fine. These are the kind of things that you need to know when you play a certain champion. Because there are a lot of champions that you can do a lot of weird things with that people would never know. Include with that, it usually include your flash tool.
Mm-hmm.
Full back. Finish your
I go
boots.
Berserker reason to this.
Press tab. Hold tab. Press tab, bud.
I am.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, you don't have to build anything else. Merc treads would be nice, but it's not it's not necessary. Are you going to Yumu's now?
Yeah. Should I not?
No, that's fine. Do you see what your team's doing now?
Grouping and having a comp fiesta?
Ignore it. If your team's going to make a decision and you don't like it, don't do it. Ping danger. They might listen to you, they might not. It doesn't frankly matter if they listen to you or not. What matters is whether or not you know what to do, and if as long as you know what to do and you're sure about it, then you won't make any mistakes. You need to focus on your own game and maximizing your own game. And if you maximize your own game, you can win most of your games.
Okay. That makes sense.
The way you move your mouse is really weird.
Weird in what way?
Y- It's so sporadic. I'm gonna have to show you something. How much have you studied on your own?
Not much.
So you haven't like watched YouTube videos, you haven't searched for
Oh,
information.
I mean, yeah, I've done that.
What have you learned?
Not much. Just play safe, gain elo. Focus more on CS things.
Well, if you're going to play safe, you can't position in front of a Sejuani. You're gonna have to start
Yeah.
learning things like that. So let me teach you something about how to figure out how to do the game. Forget that you're playing the game, and think about what each champion in the game is like does. You have a Blitz, he looks for cheesy pulls. You have a Gnar, he likes to team fight. You have a Kayn, he likes to roam, he likes to skirmish. You have Italia, she likes to skirmish, she likes to roam, she likes to cut people off with her wall, and that's how you can force objectives. She's probably not smart enough to understand how to do that, but now you know that what that champion can do. That champion may not always do that, since you do not have control over someone else. But you know how to use those things. You know that those are tools in your team's kit.
Hmm.
You shouldn't be positioning so close to a Thresh unless you're ready to fight. Like, he could have turned around and hooked you and you get one shot by Fizz. You gotta be careful. Anyone smart would punish you. Why didn't you turn on the Fizz?
Good question.
If you are going to live in the fight, you have to think about yourself. You can't think about the fight. You can't think about your team. Like, you first of all, Gnar was top lane.
He
I
had
mean,
teleport
fuck,
though.
they're even angry at him in chat. No, he didn't have teleport. If you press tab, he doesn't have teleport. Or maybe he teleported top. I don't know if he's a retard or not. But that's frankly not important to me whether or not Nar's a retard. What's important to me is whether or not you're making the right decision. And if you're going to and actively go with your team for a Cloud Drake, it's non-combat Drake, and you're going to be ready for that 4v5 fight, then the one thing you have to be ready for is to not let the Fizz jump on you. You dodged his ultimate, but as soon as he came to jump on you, you were too busy killing Quinn. Like that wasn't gonna be a problem. Quinn was not the problem. Fizz is the problem. If you press tab, it's obvious who has all the gold. Fizz. Because at this point, you and Fizz are both so fed that if one of you die and the other lives during a team fight, that team will win the team fight. This is like this is not how League of Legends normally takes place on a higher level, because people aren't normally this fed early on. But it does happen, and when it does happen, you need to figure out how to abuse it.
Okay.
Like if you're 7-0 and you're building damage, what can you do with it? Where do you need to move on the map? Who do you need to kill? If they're making certain lane assignments, which lane should you go to most easily secure a kill? I'd rather go to a lane and kill a Syndra than a Tristana As long as I know I can 1v1 both. Do you know why?
Not sure.
Because Tristana can jump away. It's so much harder to kill her. I want to get fed. I want to win, and I want to win the easiest way as possible. Nice dodge. See, do you know why being in there was a bad situation?
I was away from my team.
You only had 3 team members. You had 1 in base, and you had 1 top lane. You're also a squishy ADC. Do you know why I recommend mid or jungle?
Most impact.
Yes. Well, not necessarily. You won't always have the most impact on the game. But you can. Because you have the opportunity to have an impact on all 3 lanes. You can gank top, you can gank bot, and you can gank mid if you're jungle. And if you're mid, you can still gank the other lanes and win your lane. And if you play something easy like Annie, there isn't any way that you can lose. At least as long as you don't do anything silly. We're gonna jump into a 1v1. We're gonna play mid lane. And you're gonna play Annie.
Okay.
I feel like fucking LS. I don't really want to tell you to play Annie. I want you to play something more fun, but like it's obvious that you're not making the right decisions about where you need to be on the map. Because I've seen you do it 3 times in a row. So like, where are you right now? Nar's top lane, Kane's in the jungle. Kane's in your jungle specifically. He's taking wolves. You're moving into the mid lane, you're taking a safe path. Your team is not, but that's okay because you need to worry about yourself and only yourself. Happy birthday to me. Yep. Everybody's grouped up. Nar's dead, but Fizz is top lane. So you can push. If everybody's gonna stick in the mid lane, you can push. Team gets the hook, fight the fight. It's if you're gonna fight it, everybody has to go in. Everybody doesn't go in, so you say no. Fizz is flanking from your top side. You have to be careful about that. What dragon is that? Stone? I don't think you can contest that dragon.
I don't either.
If the enemy team wants to contest it, then you can't take it. If they aren't gonna contest it, then you can. Nar's heading into the mid lane. He may or may not come to you. You have to pull the dragon out. They're not smart enough to do that. Caught by Fizzle. That was your mistake. You were positioning really far into the dragon pit.
Yeah.
If you noticed, you had a ward behind the dragon pit. And you actually had a ward on the top side too. Which means you have to stand closer to the top side. Because if you stand closer to the bottom side, where there are places that you don't have vision, you can't be sure whether or not there's an enemy there or not. And if you can't be sure whether or not there's an enemy, you need to understand that there can be. It's not whether or not there is or there isn't. It's whether or not there can be. You have to be afraid of the unknown. The unknown is always what kills people. Every single game in any region. What kills people is something that they don't expect. What wins games is because people don't have some sort of knowledge. Or even if they do have the knowledge, they're not using it. back to your fucking OPGG. So let's talk about all these ranked games, because I like skipped them earlier, and let me just figure something out, because you got a lot of deaths.
Mhm.
You died in a lot of weird places.
What happened?
You just died in a lot of weird places. Is that him? No, those are different colors. That one's him. Yeah, okay. You can't die this much in games if you want to win. Like, even the game that you won here, you're 9-7. You have another game where you're 5-12. Like, I'm glad that you won the game, but you can't die that much.
Yeah.
You gotta play more safe.
Alright.
Cause what you told me was, if there's something that I learned from watching videos or studying, it's to play safe and play safe and win. And what this is telling me is that you're not playing safe. You have 15 deaths on Aurelia one game. That's not safe. That's far anything from safe. How is your tilt? Is your tilt all right?
It's alright.
That didn't sound very confident to me.
I mean, no,
How?
it's like, if I get flamed, then I get tilted, but other than that, I don't get tilted.
Right. Well, if you don't like when you get flamed, then you just need to start muting people. Like, I don't mute anyone, but that's because I understand that I don't need to listen to them.
Mhm.
But this is like not okay. Like, here's one game. There's 2 games where you do extremely well. 3 games, but the other ones are just such. They're like these. Your match history is just so bad to me, in a sense that you are consistently feeding, and that because you are consistently feeding, the games that you win and that you haven't died a lot, I can tell are outliers. Like, that's not how you play. Those are the inconsistencies. What's consistent is you feeding. And that may sound really bad, but that's the reality. I mean, these are just 20 games. I'll go look back some more. Okay, here's a couple good games. And then Fed game, Fed, good game. Not amazing game, but you're playing Rengar. I mean, like,
Oh,
and also like there's so many different champions here, and like you keep switching roles that like I have no idea what's going on. Here's a game, but you still have a lot of deaths. One game, but you got carried. It's obvious. Let me just check to make sure. Yeah, Malzahar 13-0 carried you. That's fine. Get carried. If you're gonna get carried, play to get carried. Like, if someone's fucking 7-0, play for them. Feeding, one good game, feeding, another good game, feeding. This is really weird. The amount of inconsistency is what's bothering me. Like, cause it tells me that you can be a good player, but you're not all the time, and it has something to do with you focusing or not. And like, I can't tell if it's tilt, and I can't tell right now if it's just bad thought process. Let's try and figure something out. But like, and also the constant role swapping that needs to stop. Like, you played a lot of Riven recently. I mean, I wouldn't mind if you mained Riven, but you gotta learn all of the fancy knacks that you can perform on that champion.
Mhm.
What's your ping?
25 to 30.
Yeah, you can play Riven then. It's recommended for Riven to have like 20 ping, but you'll be fine with the elo that you're in. Why is this game still going on? So, do you see that in this game there was a point in which you could have won?
Yeah, like maybe groups earlier.
All you had to do was rotate. Like you were 6-0. You could have rotated, pushed in lanes, gotten turrets fast, gotten your team gold, shut the fizz down. Fuck it, I don't know, roam top even. Get that tower, get Rift Herald. Like if you are so powerful and you can be confident in your abilities to play the champion that you're playing, then you can call for certain objectives. Not always will you get them. Obviously, you need more than one person to do Rift Herald if you're playing ADC. Or well, some ADCs could solo it, but I don't know about Draven with no um, lifesteal. Not sure about that one. The whole missing CS thing is like gotta stop too. It's like tilting for me to watch.
Okay.
Like playing ADC is weird because when you CS, you have to understand that you can crit. So you have to understand. Well, before the Infinity Edge, you just have to understand what double your attack damage is. But after the Infinity Edge, you have to understand what 2.5 times your attack damage is, and that's when it starts getting a little difficult. Because like leaving a minion at 1 health and watching it die to other minions is not fun. Nobody likes it. If they throw here, you can still win. But you have to get Baron. It's not going to be reliant on you. You don't have control anymore. Dahlia wall. They peeled off. Fizz. There you go. It Stack Warlord's Bloodlust. Now you have it. You could turn that. I don't know why you didn't.
I just feel safe with the clan.
Well, I can't really argue with your logic. If you feel unsafe about something, it obviously means you shouldn't do it. But that's why a lot of people like to play a lot of ranked because they won't care if they lose a few games for learning. And what I mean by that is making really risky plays to try and figure out what the limits of your champion are. I just figured that you could 3-hit Jhin if you crit twice. Cause you had Warlord's Bloodlust. If you crit on your Warlord's Bloodlust, you would have gained like half your missing health back.
Mhm.
It was you were set up to win because that one person showed up in top lane. I think it was Quinn. I think she went top.
It was. It was.
Um, So they were separated, like everything was fine. But these are limits you have to learn and understand, and then these are limits you have to learn and understand. And if you're gonna keep playing different champions, then you're never gonna do that. It was a good response, but you were also pushing up with no vision, so you should be really worried about that in the future. Because having to burn your flash defensively like that really sucks, and you could have really used it right now. Anyway, that's game. They get free Baron and free Fire Dragon. Or they won't because I don't know. It's like low quality games. I mean, they could get inhib. I don't know if they can finish. What are death timers?
Like
No, no, yeah, no, they can't finish. Maybe they're gonna go Baron after the inhibitor. I don't know. Maybe someone's already a dragon. There are so many different possibilities for what they could have done. Doubt you'll make it to dragon before it's finished. There's not really much you can do in this game except for learn how to position better. Or stop going places without vision by yourself. Do you understand that like that one mistake has happened to you multiple times this game? Like 5 times minimum. I'm not really sure if I like the lethality Draven because you have no sustain.
Yeah, I think the thing would have done better this game.
Bloodthirster would have treated you nicely. At least in this elo. They wouldn't be able to deal with it. There's no Moral Anomicon. I doubt anyone has Executioner's Calling.
No, no one does.
Yep. Oh, Fizz actually has Morellos. That's really weird. You're really far pushed out alone again. Enemy team is grouping up on your base. You're holding enough gold for your item. You charge straight into Fizz.
Yeah, back.
I don't know why you went bot lane for farm. I said it to you like multiple times. But maybe the stream's a little bit behind what's actually happening.
Okay, are we gonna do the?
Yes, we're gonna talk about laning. Wait, let me log on to North America so I can figure this fucking shit out. Okay. Let's figure this out. It doesn't really matter. I invited you.
Yeah, I saw. Come here.
Alright. Don't need anything. Alright, he's an oppressive bitch. I won't play anything too annoying. I'll play this. That'll make it easier for you. Big fat smiley face. Okay. So grab Doran's ring. Just standard. I mean, it's gonna be the starting items they recommend. Fuck this ping. Doesn't matter.
What's your ping?
184.
Interesting.
Well, I live in Chile, so
Yeah, I know you just moved there, right?
I moved there 2 months ago.
Where'd you live before? New Hampshire, right?
No.
No? There's no. Then where do I know you from? I know you from somewhere.
I don't know. What I do know is that I've never been to New Hampshire. I've been to Vermont for snowboarding.
Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
Alright. So, I want you to center your mouse on your champion. Right?
Right,
Now,
like, center.
I want you to come over here. Come in the middle of the lane. You see, okay. You see how I'm positioned right here?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm moving back and forth in between these two spots here. I want you to do that.
Okay.
So, you do that a lot because it's going to... Okay, see how you see how there's a line that I can connect from me to you?
Oh, yeah.
There's a line that I'm connected from me to you. I'm going to draw it, and I'm going to post this VOD on YouTube. But if you're moving back and forth, and I cast a skill shot, you're going to be more likely to dodge it because you're going to be moving perpendicular. All right, continue with the lane.
Okay.
Now, all you have to do is you can queue all the CS. You don't even have to worry about not queuing it. That's what makes Annie so great. That's what makes Annie so easy. I'm going to have a fun time farming in 183 ping. So I'm going to start playing a little bit aggressive. You have level 2. You going to use that advantage? Can you force it? That's all the free damage. Anybody in your elo is gonna do the same thing. You just proc Thunderlords. You half health me at level 2. Now you have full lane control. Now your minions are in my tower. You just get a free auto attack. I'm missing CS. Don't stand too far forward. Don't get hit by the tower. There you go. See how easy that is.
Okay, maybe I should be playing more Annie.
Because gold players are going to make those exact mistakes. They might be a little bit less clean because they're going to play in real ping. But anyway. Alright, so now Ahri's really weird to play against because there are no pockets. But generally against skill shot champions, you're going to stand behind minions a lot. Because then I can't hit you with my charm. And my charm's the most important part of my kit. See, now you're close to me, and I actually could charm you. But it's very far away, so I don't. You want to stand behind minions. You never want to not be behind minions. Because if you get hit by my charm, I get free damage. Oh my god, the ping is fucking cancer, dude. Play forward. Don't let me break your pockets. I should have hit that, but
Yeah, that was...
you were out of position. You can't stand in between these minions. Try not to get hit by poke. I'm usually going to throw it at the CS because against Ahri, she doesn't really have too great of wave clear or in the early game. So she generally has to queue minions if she wants to keep the wave out of her turret. So this is specific to the matchup. But it's still free damage that I have on you. And taking free damage will make you vulnerable. Now, what's wrong with your position in the lane right now?
I was, like, outside the minions.
No, your positioning in the lane is fine, but if there was a jungler in this game, your positioning is bad. You don't...
I would have warded the bottom side and top that side. Or warded one side and top that side.
You should really, it's good to ward wraiths, the enemy wraiths, because then you can see where the jungler goes. You want to try and do that as safely as possible.
Okay.
So when you have 2 wards up or your jungler is nearby, that's when you can do it. And if you're already ahead in lane, like you are, then you can do that. Are you pulling it back now?
Yeah.
I'm going to push in your wave so that you miss CS. You should back after a cannon wave, by the way. So this is... Well, it depends. You either back after the cannon wave because it pushes into their turret and it takes a long time for them to catch it back, and it'll usually bounce back in the lane towards you, which is what I did. That's going to bounce back towards me, and I know it will, because it's hitting, the tower's hitting my minions. So that, you can do the same thing. Like, do you understand what I just did?
Yeah.
I pushed all the minions in. They hit your tower. They hit your tower to the, and because there was the cannon wave, the next wave actually hits your tower, and then that wave is get pushed back towards me. And see how safe my position is in my lane. See how I've always been playing back. I'm not vulnerable to a jungle gang. You're level 6. What's Annie do at level 6?
All in. He went to start zoning.
Easy. Alright, exit.
Go play any game pass.
Yes. And then we'll be done. Now, you're gonna play this game. I'm gonna spectate you, and I'm gonna draw on your game because I'm recording this. So I will give you the link on YouTube when I go post it.
Alright.
I sent you a friend request so that I can actually do that. Alright. So what do you do besides League?
Osu, PUBG,
What rank are you on ISO?
30,000-ish.
That's nice.
Yeah, I do retired.
I haven't played ISO in a long time, or at least not seriously.
Mm.
I was ranked 7,000 at a time.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm probably about your skill level at this point though. Where the fuck is my pen? I'm gonna use my tablet for this. I'm sorry that I've been quiet. I'm kind of hungover right now. Alright, how long is your gold queue time? Because it can't be that long.
I don't know. Still going.
Alright. Are you in school? How old are you?
I'm a senior in high school.
You're a senior in high school. You got a long way to go. You got college plans?
Yeah. Hoping to go to Ivy League school.
Okay.
I mean, it's actually viable for me. I have some.
Do you play a sport?
I play for every season. I play volleyball. I wrestle. I play soccer.
Okay. As long as your GPA is above 4, then you have a good chance.
The 4.5.
Yeah, that was about what I had.
Yeah. The highest you can get over here.
Uh,
Who's a direct counter to Annie?
who's a direct counter to Annie? I mean, a
Like,
lot of people
you're
don't
taking
like
shopping.
playing into Zed. I really don't think that there's like an issue with anything. I mean, Cassidon's pretty annoying. LeBlanc's annoying. You have better luck just like banning junglers, making sure Zach's not in the game, making sure.
Exactly.
I mean, fuck, Gragas is horrible. I hate that champion in solo queue. Syndra does decent into Annie.
Well,
Who
we
else?
have Gragas on our team.
I have no idea. Malzahar is gay. Malzahar can win lane against anyone as long as he waits.
Soccer.
You're against Veigar? Alright, so just
I
wait.
just banned him from his PS.
Are you taking Ignite and Flash?
I was gonna.
Ignite Flash. In a matchup where you don't need to be aggressive, you can take Teleport. It's really nice. Because the Rod of Ages Annie is also really good. Like there's a couple build paths for Annie. There's Roa. A lot of people like to rush Ludens.
Just roam everywhere.
There's a really special build that includes Leandries and Rylai's. Um,
Oh,
because Tibbers procs both of those. Um,
oh,
yeah, that's a tank melting build. That's if you're against like a bunch of tanks. Um,
interesting.
any other build pass on that champion?
I think I'm gonna just rush Luden and then into like maybe Banshees or Rabadon.
I mean, it's going to be depending on the situation. Banshees is good if there's like a fed person and there's a skill shot that like you need to
Hmm.
dodge, or like I don't know, you want if they're like Banshees prevents like Sejuani ult, Banshees prevents like Fizz ult, Banshees
I mean, they have the
Karthus
Veigar,
ult.
but
I mean, it'll prevent his like Q, it'll prevent his E. Maybe you can walk through his E. I don't see it as a bad thing. But if Veigar is ever going to be close enough to get you in his baby cage, he'll probably die. Because what I'm telling you right now is that you have to play aggressive. You have to play
mm,
aggressive. You have to ward the side that you need to ward so that you make sure that you know what you're doing, and that you don't get ganked, that you don't get wrecked. Because if you get behind, you're not getting back. Annie's going to be all about this early game. Where is All right, so let me talk a little bit about what's happening in your game. Let's see. What the hell? Is that your cloud tag? Oh, okay. You're Annie. You have Urgot top lane. Get white. White's a better color. Urgot top lane. Jinx and Bard are your support and ADC, and you have Gragas jungle. So if Gragas knows anything that he's doing, Gragas will probably end up ganking mid and top. If he doesn't know what he's doing, he'll just do whatever he wants, and whatever he wants is probably fine because you don't really need him. All you need to really worry about is you. You are versus Veigar. You win lane. I know you win lane. Veigar is really weak early. He's immobile, and he's going to be really weak to say flash tippers because if there's one thing that you have on that champion that people really hate, it's flash tippers and getting one hit.
mhm,
You you saw that just with first blood gold, you were able to build enough damage in the 1v1 with me to one hit me at level 6.
mhm,
That was all of my health. You can do the same thing to Veigar. Veigar's actually a little bit squishier than Ari.
mhm,
Other things that you have to worry about in this game. If Darius gets kind of fed, you might want to opt into the Rylai's on Tibbers. If Brand, Tristana, and Jax, all of them are kind of squishy. So
mhm.
you can just start walking around the map once you have one or two kills, with Tibbers and stun, and whoever you see first dies, and that's what you
Yeah.
should be doing.
Mhm.
What summoner spells does Veigar have?
Teleport and Ghost.
He doesn't have flash.
He's also running Storm Raider Surge.
He don't, he doesn't have flash or a defensive summoner spell.
Hmm. Against an ant.
Have you killed him already?
No, we just started. Like
Uh,
mini attacker.
okay. Because that beyond irks me. I love these names. Jump and kill. Don't feed my laner. Camper Cameron. Yo, look at all this honor level 3. What the fuck, NA? So what do you want to study in college?
I'm thinking the usual like business or something, neuroscience possibly.
Neuroscience. I'm on the back of that. You should do that. This is appalling. Storm Raider Surge Ghost Teleport Vagar. That is that is something that just should never happen. I never want to see that ever again.
I'm just zoning him now.
You keep zoning him. If you keep zoning him, keep poking him with your Q. Don't waste all of your mana because before you hit level 6, the one thing you do have is flash W and then Q and then ignite and auto attack. And
I don't
you
have ignite.
wait, you took teleport? I said in passive matchups you take teleport. Never mind. That doesn't matter. You don't need ignite to win. What you need is to get kills. What the hell is this level 1? Brand no flash. Okay. Bird no ignite. Is that the fucking dog? I swear to God. I live with 5 dogs because they bought them like last week. They're all like puppies.
See if I can get a.
Actually, I think that might be the neighbor's dog. What the fuck? Holy shit. Somebody needs to fix that. Alright. What the hell? Why did the directed camera shift off you? Okay. Can you hear that?
A little bit.
I don't know what to tell you about that right now. Cause
Love
like,
it.
I really don't. It's actually the neighbor's dog. Like it's not even a dog in the house, so like I can't do anything about it. You're playing really far back. Why are you playing really far back? You win like any trade with Vagar early after level 2. The only thing you need to worry about is whether or not you have more minions. And you shouldn't be afraid to use your W to push the wave sometimes, like how Vagar uses his. You just need to be careful with how much mana you use.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can wait to auto attack minions if they're getting hit by your minions so that you get them under the tower. When you have stun against Vagar, you should really like push into him for it. You wanna make these people afraid of you. You're out farming him right now because he pushed the wave and he didn't know how to farm. But when you get better, when you get into a better elo, people aren't gonna be that stupid. Like he's not gonna make as many mistakes. And he used both of his potions when he had like full health, thinking that they'd give him mana because he has biscuits. I have no idea. You're really pushed up far in this lane and you don't have any vision. That shouldn't happen. You have no idea where the enemy jungler is. Oh, he's actually bottom lane. I can't see that. Now that you know where he is, he's fine. Don't even think about what happened bottom lane.
Okay.
It's not important. You roam into it. I mean, this is kind of a waste of your time. Without Tibbers, you're like not threatening. Because you only have 2 damaging spells without Tibbers. Unless you're prepared to flash. You should have also been preparing your stun. Because you could have killed both of them there. If you had your stun ready and you flash stun, flash W, it's too powerful. Nobody can do anything about it. It's fine. You picked up 1 kill. 3-1. You now are head in lane. Let's figure out, are you still fine on CS? Veigar pushed into you, but not very fast, so you get to pick up all the CS. Missed 1 or 2, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. You're still 10 CS up. Now you're a kill up. Now you're about 500, 600 gold up. 520. Your team's in the jungle. You're silently pushing mid lane. That's fine. They don't need you. You don't need them. If you think it's a dangerous situation, you shouldn't go to them. But honestly, now that you just leveled up, you can force anything. You can flash Tibbers. You can one-hit anyone you want. I mean, you're holding enough gold right now that you can back and you can buy needlessly large rod and boots.
Which I did.
You buy needlessly large rod, boots, and pots. Is that what you do? You don't
Yeah.
even need pots. You have 2 pots.
I pressed E and Veigar goes. He still dies.
Did you just place a pink ward in your base?
No. No. Look away. To be fair, it's because my push attack and my key is the same key, so.
Alright. What the fuck? Swear to God, the spectate system's broken. I mean, the only real big change so far on what you need to do is you play more aggressive early. There are very few matchups that you lose early. Very few.
Who would those be?
Swain. Anyone with longer range than you can handle. That was actually good. That's what you need to do to win the game. Now you push in on mid lane turret, you have Tibbers pushing. Tibbers tanks for a lot, you get a lot of damage. Faster you get mid turret, the faster that the enemy person has going to be farther pushed in. They're going to have to deal with more minions, and you can roam for longer periods of time without them being able to. And without them being able to respond on your turret. Because when you roam, that's the one thing that people open up, or when you die. Is the fact that your turret will be open and undefended. Sometimes the jungler will come to help, but sometimes they won't. You can ping for it, you can not ping for it. Whether or not they come will be their decision, not be yours. How much gold are you holding? 946. You're just gonna go ahead and get Aether Wisp, that's right. Interesting. Veigar caught you with the stun when you teleported to your tower. Your back timing forced you to teleport, but you need to fix your back timing. Hold on.
Alright.
Let me figure out. Okay, so you pushed a wave into the tower, and it was another cannon wave. This is the same as the 1v1. You left on a cannon wave. Was there a reason for you? No, you had enough mana. Vhagar's not scary. The only thing you can't let happen is Vhagar getting a full combo on you. That's the only way he'll get anywhere near killing you. He doesn't have any gold. So that back timing was bad because you didn't need to teleport to your lane. You can use your teleport to other lanes, make more aggressive plays, teleport to a dragon that maybe your dumb team is taking for some reason, teleport to the Baron. I mean, the Baron's not up, obviously, but that's not the point. Bad teleports or unnecessary teleports is just wasting your summoner spell cooldown for no reason.
Mhm.
I swear the fucking spectate system's broken. That is exactly what you need to do. How comfortable are you with this Annie now?
Pretty comfortable.
How easy was it to learn?
Pretty easy.
Exactly. Now you can do this every game. Now you can start figuring out what you need to do. Now you can start thinking about your lane positioning. Now you can start thinking about how you're always pushed up with no wards. Because the higher elo you get, the more aggressive junglers get. The more they understand their freedom, the more they understand that they will fuck you. Warded enemy race. Now you see Jax. That's a good ward. It would be better if you warded here. I'm drawing it on the board. It's better to ward there, but that's just so that you can get vision on whether or not Jax is moving up or down or where he's moving on the map. Jesus fucking Christ, give me some free camera. You have a pink ward here. This is fine because it allows you to understand whether or not Vhagar is going to be roaming down. It also gives you vision on the dragon, in which you just saw Jax jump into the dragon. You only know that he's doing it because of your ward. Your team's not in position to respond. That's a mistake. That's frankly not your fault, but for me to be really honest about it, you can stop it. If you wanted it. The fuck? What just happened? Oh, you don't have Tibbers up.
Mhm.
Brain comes into your lane. I have to be careful about this Tristana. She's kind of fed. But it doesn't matter that she's fed because you're fed. And you can one-hit her. How do you think killing people works in this game?
You just blow them up.
I mean, yes, you're playing Annie, so you blow them up. But every champion is damaged, don't they?
Yeah.
So the Tristana has a lot of damage, right? So
Yeah.
she seems scary. But you also have a lot of damage. And the difference
Mine
is
comes up
that
faster.
yours is faster.
Mhm.
You can abuse that.
Okay.
Yours is also AoE, so if you flash Tibbers 2 or 3 people, you can win games. Just that one play. These all your words. This is a nice word when you're in lane. It's not really useful right now. I mean,
What
if you're
is-
gonna go for Rift Herald, I'm talking about just your vision here. Like, this is nice for Rift Herald, if you're gonna prioritize that, which I guess you are. Hold on, let me watch this. Hold on, what are you doing? Okay, charge stun, Tibbers. Kill them both. Darius moves on to you. That was a bad flash. I don't know why you didn't flash there, or why you flashed in that direction. Let me back up and show you. Okay, so I found the freeze frame. Flashing this direction helps you. Flashing this direction does not. Why flashing this direction helps you is because it gets you away from Darius. If if your teammates are relatively nice or smart, they ping when enemies flash. Darius doesn't have flash, so I know Darius can't follow you. Brand can flash follow you, but Brand is reliant on hitting a skill shot and killing you, which means if you are going to live here, if you're going to live, you are going to flash this way, you're going to get Jinx, you're going to hide behind Jinx because Brand is going to try to EQ you if he flashes on you. And you're not going to let that happen. If you, or you just don't burn flash and you die. Because flash is a really important tool on Annie because you can use it aggressively and you can force plays because the flash tibbers is really strong. So a lot of people actually end up dying with flash on Annie anyway to just specifically be able to use it for aggression. And that would be a fine situation in this case because you're 5-0. You're actually holding a lot of gold right now. So you're about to hit a power spike and you're ready to one-hit whoever you want. And there won't be any counterplay. Okay. You need to start moving around and making this lead into other people's leads. If you wanna win the game, now that you're so far ahead, move around. If you have teammates in a lane and there's a tower to take, flash tibbers. If someone's out near a dragon or the dragon's up, or you want the Rift Herald, flash tibbers. If you need an objective, if you want something to be done, if you need a man advantage, if you're pushing a lane with your team, flash tibbers. Or just if they miss position, tibbers. Like, kill them, and then move on. Get objectives. Focus on the objectives because you have the man advantage. Know whether or not the enemy team can respond. If they can move towards that objective, then maybe they can stop you. But as long as you have damage and you keep on moving forward with the game, and you get ahead, there's nothing they can do to stop you. But if you're going to play Annie, you have to play aggressive. Because if you don't win the game before 25 minutes, it gets really hard to win. You do a lot of sitting in mid lane without really doing anything else. Gragas is going bot here, which means you can go top. Like even Veigar roams. You would have made the difference in this play, like if you roam up. Like you have to be the one proposing or understanding, and like you had vision on them, you saw them on the map, and because I'm doing this review with you with Fog of War turned on, so I see everything from your perspective. And I saw everybody moving up, and yet you just stayed mid lane to farm. Like your farm is decent. You're about 30 CS under where you could be with just lane CS. Maybe it's 40.
I whiffed tibbers.
Unfortunate.
That would have been
to
such a good play too.
Good. Now that Jax is dead, you should ping Rift Herald and see if your team will do it with you. The enemy team's pinging Rift Herald. That's really funny. Um, if your team was smart, they'd do it. They'd do it for you and they'd work with you. But you have to understand that your team is not smart, and you need to get focus on these objectives, and you just need to ping them a lot, and maybe they'll help you and maybe they'll not. And eventually, people will help you enough so that you can win the game. You can't rely completely on others, but sometimes if you can and they're willing to help and you know you have the advantage because you took down Jax here, you can get these objectives for free. You're really far pushed up in the mid lane. What the fuck?
Oh, my team just surrendered, so.
You pushed up in the mid lane by yourself. Tibbers on cooldown. Really greedy for the CS. Gets locked in a baby cage. Gets jumped on. Collapsed by 4 people. Again, overextending by yourself. This game was easily winnable. You just need to expand your lead into other lanes. Because you got fed yourself, and that's great and all, but you need to start using it to get more than just kills. Kills aren't what win the game. You actually have to get the turrets, and then get the Nexus. And, like, usually we get dragons and the Rift Heralds and the Barons. Those all help us get to that Nexus. But that Nexus is the final goal, and the turrets are just small steps in between. I don't know if you can still win this game, but I feel like if you knew if you were perfect, you could. I know they surrendered, but even like this is an 8,000 gold, 8,000, 9,000 gold lead, 10,000 gold lead. Got corrected. Um, but you're also a fed Annie, and you can one hit people, and you can one hit multiple people at the same time. So you could change a lot of this tides because there's no one on the enemy team that could really stop you. Like they're all squishy. As long as you have your ult, you can take down 1, 2, 3 people, and then how's the rest of the like? You can't lose otherwise. That might have been what just happened in top lane. Let me check that out. Just about. Alright. Now I want you to play Annie and other similar champions when you can't play Annie for like a week. Right? Just do it for a week. Figure it out. Don't play a bunch of random champions. Don't change roles. Just keep playing mid lane. Figure out what you need to do to win. You can have jungle as your secondary or ADC as your secondary if you care, if you really want to play ADC. But what matters is that you're playing mid lane, you're playing Annie, you're focusing, and you keep on getting these leads. Because if you get fed every game, you will win games. You just need to start figuring out how to change that I'm fed into everyone is fed.
Alright.
Very unfortunate game. That's fine. Alright, so we'll get back to each other in a week. Okay?
Alright. Yep.
It was nice talking to you. I'm going to put this on YouTube, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the link. It's going to be private, but
Alright.
yeah. Okay.
Alright. Thanks, man.
Peace.